Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give praises, honor, glory to the Most High God, Yahawah, Bashem Hamashiach, Yahawah Shah. My name Priest Kupad from Murder Hand Prophets and the angels of Yahawah. Feel what I'm saying? When y'all come up in here, put them A's in the chat, man. Priest should be coming on in a little second. Right? I just been waiting on him for real. But you know Levites like to take their time. So the topic that we're going to go into is, did Moses leave the truth? This is a statement or a contention brought up by ISUPK. They take the opposing end of interpreting his punishment of not being able to see the land as him leaving the truth. See what I'm saying? Shout out South Carolina, man. So before Priest comes up in here, let's get into something that we've already been over. When he comes up in here, we could get into the main topic. But let's talk about transliteration, because I like to say names, man. It's a new doctrine every week. All right, nigga. Especially goddamn right now. So boom. Let me know if y'all can hear me too. I don't know if I gotta be up on the mic like this. But a few weeks ago, we spoke about the name of the Most High, going into transliteration as well. And we went into the historical documentation of, shout out Maba Weezy, of the Native Americans referring to their God as Yahawah, right? But I got this new mic and shit like that. So the Native Americans called Yahawah, Yahawah. And we went into Judges 12, I believe, acknowledging the fact of having accents. If I were to say music, that would be different than a Mississippi nigga saying music, or a Memphis nigga, he would say music as well. So they pronounce the ha as hey, and that's okay, right? With time, migration, separation within different regions and different age groups, you're gonna have different dialects and pronunciation, right? So the point I'm getting at is, Genesis says transliteration of, let's say, a word like juice, transliterated into the Japanese would still be juice, or the Arabic, it would still be juice. But that's not true. And all you gotta do is do a little studying. See what I'm saying? So if you go to the Negro land map, I see Kazak in here. So
Shalom, shalom.
If you go to the Negro land map, let's look at it real quick. You're gonna see a region called, am I sharing it? Weda, Judah, right? Now, the English called this land Weda. If you look at older documentation, it's referred to as Uda, right? Now, in the Old English, they interpreted airy sounds like when, why, what as WH rather than something like OUH. You see what I'm saying? So transliteration, there would be a discrepancy right there. So the Old English speakers would refer to this land as Weda. Then you have the Portuguese that would call this land Ajuda. Then you had the French that called it Uda, right? The French like to say this oo sound. Then you had the Dutch that said Theta. And guess what? This is all transliteration. You see what I'm saying? Now, with translation would be a word like juice being translated into Spanish. It wouldn't sound anything like juice, but that can still be a factor in transliteration. Now, let's look at Christmas, for example. What do you think Christmas transliterated from the English to the Japanese is? Is it Christmas? They don't have the same English characters. They don't have the same pronunciation within their alphabet. They don't have the same accent. So it would be hard for them to pronounce Christmas, right? What they pronounce is Kurisama. That sounds like a whole different fucking word, right? So if you have the Native Americans saying the Most High's name like Yahawah, and the Aramaic people saying Yahweh, that's a distinction. You see what I'm saying? Genesis says transliteration is like a tape recorder, right? I'm quoting that directly from Deacon. It's not a tape recorder, nigga. That is not what we call the Most High in antiquity, right? And we went into that breakdown a few weeks ago. So I just wanted to bring up that point of contention. Before we move on, let's get some more words transliterated, right? So transliteration. So in the Hebrew, let's speak on the modern Hebrew real quick. Solomon's name would be Shlomo. I believe in the ancient Hebrew it would be Shlama. In the Arabic is Suleiman. So if transliteration is true in the sense that they spoke it, right? It basically being parallel with pronunciations. That's a discrepancy in just one name as far as with a contention in their doctrine, right? Let's get one more. Elijah in the modern Hebrew would be Eliyahu. In the Arabic it would be Elas, some shit like that. But yeah, man, I done made the point, man. So, Priest, what you got to say?
Salakia, but yeah, all praise to the Most High. You know, can you hear me?
Yeah, nigga, you got a lot of motherfucking wind in the background, gang.
You said I got a lot of noise in the background?
It's like a lot of wind and shit. You straight though.
I don't understand why that should be sounding like that. I don't know if that's the inside. Yeah, it's probably my laptop. Let me see. Hold on. Let me unplug it. Let me see if you still hear that.
Yeah.
You still hear it?
Yeah, it should be straight. If the chat got a problem with it, just bring it up. Which
all right, con. So yeah, what you was going into transliterations and all of that?
Yeah, transliteration.
Con, definitely see a lot of that in the scriptures. You know, how they transliterated the scriptures and things like that. You know, with the modern Hebrew and the ancient Hebrew, like you said, how they call Isaiah name Isaias. You know, in the scriptures and all that. But in the ancient Hebrew, his name would actually be, I believe, Yeshaya. You know, it would be Yeshaya in the ancient Hebrew, right? So it's a lot of different ways how they took his name and made it into Greek. Like how they got in Romans 9, they call Jose OC. Right. You know, and then you see in Numbers when Joshua had that same name, they called him O'Shea. You know, and then you got the book of Hosea, right? But in the ancient Hebrew, that name would be Hawashai. You know, so it's a lot to go into with the transliterations and all of that and understanding, you know, with the lining up of the Hebrew characters and things like that. So, what we got, man? What we got? So, you know, the topic of this live stream, as y'all can see, man, did Moses lead the truth? You know, it's some crazy work being done out there. You know, it's some crazy work being done out there. You know, with these statements being made and doctrines being formulated. And if y'all been paying attention to us, me and the brother Kapad, we've been going in head first, you know, at all of these wild doctrines and all of these wild statements that have been being made, you know, in this so-called Hebrew Israelite community. You know, because, so like, yeah, the Lord said in the book of, can you pull up Psalm? Well, no. Let me see. Because I can't necessarily call our brothers evil. You know, but the Lord let us. I can't necessarily I can't, but I'm saying I can't necessarily call brothers evil. You know, I was finna say Psalm 94:16, who will rise up for me against the evildoers, right? But let's grab, I think a better one would be, let's go to Isaiah 6. Can you pull up Isaiah 6 for me?
Shit. Still don't know how to break this shit.
All right, Khan, go down to verse 8.
Isaiah 6 and verse 8. Also I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send and who will go for us?
Right, so it was a voice. The voice of the Lord said, who shall I send? Who gonna go out there and represent us? Who gonna go out there and teach, you know, sound doctrine? Who gonna go out there and basically reprove this people, you know, and give them the correction that's needed, right? And this is what Isaiah said.
Yeah, who will go for us? Then said I, here am I, send me. And he said,
right.
Go and tell this people.
Go ahead, keep going.
Hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. Make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert and be healed. So like,
right. So the Lord said, who will go out there for us, right? And basically, me and the brother Kapar, we said, hey, send us, man. You know, we gave our hearts in devotion to teaching sound doctrine of the Lord and protecting it and preserving it the ways that, you know, our elders and our forefathers then, you know, placed upon us, you know, and basically exposed to us. We want to keep that going through the Spirit, you know, because it's been proven, it's been shown to be sound, you know, and you got people in this truth, in this community, so called, you know, that are out here trying to change things, or out here making, you know, crazy statements, and somebody got to be the ones to rise up against that. Somebody got to be the ones that say, you know, hey, this ain't true according to scriptures, and we gotta basically, you know, show that ain't true. Go ahead, what you was finna say?
Yeah, as Levites, our natural inclination is to preserve which is holy, right? We used to station around the goddamn the temple to protect things. So that's just what we're doing now, preserving what's holy.
Right, so yeah, like I said, y'all see the title, man. The Moses Lead the Truth, the ISUPK Doctrine Examined. Right, you know, ISUPK, we putting y'all under a microscope with this statement, you know, made by General Muhammad. And I like General Muhammad. I fuck with him. He cool. You know, he be saying he got a lot of wisdom. You know, but a lot of things he be saying, he be going off. He be tweaking though. You know, he be tweaking with a whole lot. And I don't know where that be coming from, but this thing with Moses though, it started off with the John the Baptist thing. You know, but this thing with Moses, now Moses wasn't in the truth. We gotta examine that. Do we got a clip? We ain't got no clip with him saying that.
I was about to ask you if there's a video. I know GMS did a reaction video. That's the only one I could find.
Yeah, you could probably click that GMS video. We could just watch like the first 2 minutes of it from where he said it, and then we just go into it, break it down. I'm gonna mute up.
Yeah, Moses is one of the people that appeared with Elijah and Christ with the apostles. He wasn't in the truth.
Why would he be there? Hold on, who appeared?
Shit.
Moses and who? Elijah. Who was Elijah? Who was Elijah though? John the Baptist, right? That's crazy. What they appearing to Christ for if they wasn't in the truth? Two brothers that left the truth. Two brothers that left the truth. They appeared to Christ. That don't even make sense, man. You saying both these brothers left the truth, but they appeared to Christ? Down there, come on now. We gotta make it make sense. We gotta make it plain Jane upon tables. That's why the Lord said, make it plain write the word and make it plain upon tables, man. So that he that runneth may read it. You know.
I Alright, we got the video right here. Let's see what it's talking about. Make sure y'all like the video when y'all come up in here. If anybody got any contention, we could put that link out there. Feel what I'm saying? We ain't no passive brothers. We can talk it up. So let's get to it.
Stand by. Come on, Marab, you got it.
Let me know if the audio good too.
Read the question to me or whatever the brother wanted to say. I've seen Commanding General Yahawah love the men that taught him just like this. I've seen him do it, where the men that taught Commanding General Yahawah left the truth, believe in some strange religion that's called Christianity under another name. They believe in it, and he still loves them, still honors them, still has the entire...
Who you talking about, Hassad? You're muted.
So like I don't know who he talking about. He is speaking. Somebody had asked a question or whatever, and he going in on somebody, but he bringing up how brothers that used to labor with the general, you know, how they left the truth and the general still honored them. You know, speaking about like High Priest Ariyah and you know High Priest Kazak, you know, and all those other brothers that was part of the original One West. You know, he said the general still basically, you know, pay homage to them brothers.
Hey, you can hear it good and shit like that. It's kind of
yeah.
Nation of Israel pray for them to this day. Still doesn't, because that is the spirit of Christ. And if you want to see this done again, you'll see that it was done with Moses in the book of Jude, where there was a conflict between Satan and the archangel Michael. And they fought over the bones of Moses. Give me that, Marav. You know where it is.
Makan, sir.
A great dispute over the bones of Moses. Why? Because Satan knew that Moses had left the truth right before they found the land of Israel. Moses had already given up. He gave up and he was just done with it. He did great things in his past, great things. But right before they found the promised land, Moses left the truth. He was done. He quit. When they got to the promised land, Moses had already died. And now there was a dispute between Satan, the angel Satan, and the archangel Michael or Michael. And they battled over the bones of Moses. Where's the young brother in class?
Yeah, that's it. That's all we need on that.
What were they battling about? Why would it?
Yeah, so their perspective is because Moses received the judgment for hitting the rock 2 times. That means that he left the truth. Like he couldn't have received the punishment for that and repented. I mean,
and the thing is though, right? If Moses left the truth at that time, wouldn't the Lord have stopped using Moses? The Lord would have gave it over to Joshua right there and there. You know, Aaron, I would say Aaron did something worse than what Moses did, but the Lord still gave Aaron the priesthood when he built that idol. And that was even after
to worship a golden fucking calf, nigga.
Yeah, that was after you know, Moses came down from Mount Sinai.
Yeah, he got the holiest lineage out of all of Israel. The
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah. So it's like it's just crazy to say something like that. But let's go to Numbers chapter 20 though, to basically, you know, go into that account. Because this happened in Numbers. This didn't happen in Deuteronomy 34 when Moses died. This happened all the way in Numbers 20. Let's go to verse 8 where it say waters in Meribah.
This is Numbers 20 and verse 8. Take the rod and gather that.
What's it like? Yeah, let's go up to verse. Let's start at verse 4.
Numbers 20 and verse 4. And why have ye brought up the congregation of the Lord into this wilderness, that we and our cattle should die there? And wherefore have ye made us to come up out of Egypt to bring us unto this evil place? It is no place of seed, or of figs, or of vines, or of pomegranates, neither is there any water to drink. And Moses,
right, so Salakia, hold on. So you had the congregation of Israel, right, as we was walking through the wilderness, niggas was complaining. They was complaining way too much. All they was doing, they was steady reminiscing on what they had in Egypt, steady reminiscing on what they had before they came into the wilderness and all that. The water that they used to drink, you know, the foods, the what they saying, the figs, the pomegranates, and all those other things, right? The how they used to get the meat from the butcher shop and the fish and all those other trinkets that they used to feast on or whatever back in Egypt, right? Our people, they was reminiscing on that. They was tired of being in the wilderness. They said they was tired of eating the manna. They was tired of eating bread from heaven. Imagine being tired of eating bread from heaven. The Most High got coriander seed. What did it say? It was like unto coriander seed, the manna, right? As it was raining down from heaven, and you taking it and making bread with it. That's bread from heaven, bro. Ain't nobody else on the planet eating that. But y'all eating that, and y'all telling the Lord that y'all tired of it. Y'all rather go back to Egypt. See, this showed the state of Stockholm syndrome that our people had. You know, in their mindset, right? Even all these years that they've been in the wilderness, they still reminiscing on what they had in Egypt. They still reminiscing on, you know, how good they had it while in captivity, which is fucking crazy. And this is something that we deal with on a day-to-day basis with our people out there on the street. They cool with being in America. They love it here. They love it here. As long as niggas get to sell drugs, get to fuck as many hoes as they want to, get to do all these other things, man. You know, rob and steal and kill each other. They cool. They love it here. So like it.
Yeah, you know, the gift destroyed the heart. That's exactly what we had in Egypt, man. So.
So let's keep going on that.
This is verse 6. And Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and they fell upon their faces, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto them. Right? And the Lord
they fell upon it. Both of them, they fell upon their faces. Right? It say Moses was the meekest man upon the earth, man. He was the most meekest man. So let's go to that. I'll pull it up. I'll just read it. Right, this is the book of Numbers, chapter 12. Numbers chapter 12 and verse 3. It says, now the man Moses was very meek above all men which were upon the face of the earth. Right, so it say Moses was the most meekest man upon the face of the earth. Right, that's why he was constantly pleading. Right, let's see what the word meek means, matter of fact. Let me look into this word real quick. See what that word is. Anav. It says poor, humble, afflicted, meek, poor, needy, poor and weak, humble, lowly. So like basically being humble and lowly. Basically, because Moses wasn't poor, you know, he was basically king in Israel. As it says in Deuteronomy 33, he was an anointed king in Jeshurun, right? So Moses was humble and lowly. And Yahawah said this, right? This is the book of Matthew, chapter, what is that, verse 5? Matthew 5 and 5, it says, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. So the meek is going to inherit the earth. Moses was the meekest man upon the face of the earth, above all men at his time. So Moses is emphatically going to inherit the earth. Just because the brother made one mistake, it's a thing that people got to understand. And we was going over this in class last week, if you remember, Kapad, when Moses would be... Now, Aaron was high priest, right? Moses had his own part, as we read in what is that in Leviticus? What was that, the 9th chapter? Moses had his own part when he was anointing Aaron, right, and his sons and all of that, right? So Moses was basically doing the work of a high priest, right? That's why Yahawah is a prophet like unto Moses, right? You still have the high priest under the order of Aaron, but Yahawah and brothers like Yahawah and Moses, they on a whole nother level, So basically, the way it go with when a priest, and Moses was a Levite emphatically, so he would be a priest. When a priest makes a mistake, it's like the atonement for his sin. It's like the atonement of a whole congregation, right? He has to give up that bullock, right? When a high priest gives up the atonement for the congregation, he has to give a bullock, right? So that's like, basically think about the amount of blood that has to be spilled for that high priest when he makes a mistake. The amount of blood that has to be spilled when the whole congregation goes off, right? It's that same amount of blood. You have to give a bullock for both situations. So when a priest makes a mistake, it's a heavy matter, because within the priest, he's supposed to be the one governing and basically leading by example and doing all these other things. He's in charge of the congregation, right? So with that being said, when Moses and Aaron made the mistake that they did, it was a detrimental mistake, ultimately because of the high stature in which they held, so like in the eyes of the children of Israel. And the Lord didn't want the children of Israel to look upon that and just think that, we could just do anything. Because if Moses could do anything, then we could just do anything out here. We could just wing shit, do whatever. So the Lord had to make an example out of Moses and Aaron, basically with telling them that they're not going to enter into the promised land. So let's go back to Numbers 20.
So I'm going to read that again. This is verse 6. And Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly.
You're not sharing your screen.
Shit, my bad. So Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And this is where the mercy seat was. This is where the Lord's presence was. And they actually sought the Most High's will and his direction. So, and they fell upon their faces, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto them. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take the rod and gather thou the assembly together, thou and thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes, and it shall give forth his water, and thou shalt bring forth to them water out of the rock. So thou shalt give the congregation and their beasts drink. So Moses was supposed to speak to the rock, and the rock would come flowing out water. Verse 9. And Moses took the rod from before the Lord, as he commanded him. And Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock, and he said unto them, Hear now, ye rebels, must we fetch you water out of this rock? And keep in mind the curse of Levi, right? The Levites would be cursed in their anger. So keep that in mind. It says, And Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock, and he said unto them, Hear now, you rebels. So this is a contentious mindset. Must we fetch you water out of this rock? Verse 11. And Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod he smote the rock twice, which went against the commandments of the Most High. He was just supposed to speak to the rock. And the water came out abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their beasts also. So I guess this is why they said he left the truth. Because verse 12 says, And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, Because ye believe me not, to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them.
So basically, he was just supposed to speak to the rock. Instead he spoke and hit the rock. So imagine, so you got to put this in like a, when you're reading the Bible, you're supposed to be imagining these things, these events play out in your mind, right? In real life situations, right? So imagine this is the rock, right? So Moses was just supposed to speak to the rock. He's supposed to be like, bring forth water, or whatever. Shall we bring forth water out this rock? And then you say, rock, bring forth water.
And
in the name of Yahawah.
Glorified.
Right. The Most High would have been glorified, right? But instead, he hit the rock twice. He, basically it looked like he didn't have faith by him just speaking to the rock. He hit the rock twice, basically, and then the rock brought forth the water. But that wasn't the instruction that he was given by the Lord. He was given the instruction just to speak to the rock.
Right.
And
perspective of the people,
go ahead.
The glory fell on him.
Right, the glory fell on him. Right, that's why what the general was saying when they said that Satan and the archangel Michael was arguing over the body of Moses. Imagine how it looked. Moses just did all those events in the Exodus, right? He split the Red Sea. He did all these other things. The people looked to Moses like he was a god, because the Most High made him a god, right? So that's why they was arguing over the body of Moses, because if Satan prevailed with the body of Moses, it wasn't just them actually sitting there physically arguing, right? It was about the events that was going to play out with the body of Moses, right? Now, that's why nobody really know where Moses was buried, because if they knew where he was buried, they would have been worshiping Moses' body. Because how do we know that? Because they was worshiping the brazen snakes that he built up. There's worship. Let's pull that up. Matter of fact, you know where that's at? I believe that's in 1 Kings 15. Let me see. Hold on.
2 Kings 18.
Is it 2 Kings?
Yeah.
Bring it up.
Let's get verse 4. 2 Kings 18 and verse 4. He removed the high places and brake the images and cut down the groves and brake in pieces the brazen serpent that Moses had made. For unto those days the children of Israel did burn incense to it, and he called it Nehushtan.
Right. So the children of Israel was still, and this is in the time of Hezekiah right here. So this is hundreds of years after Moses. They still worshiping the brazen serpents that Moses built up. So this was the contention between Archangel Michael and Satan, between the body of Moses, because them people, they would have been going to Moses' grave site, burning incense, praying to Moses, like how in the Catholic Church they pray to the saints. Our people would have been doing that to praying to Moses. They would have been praying to Saint Moses, doing those type of things. They was already burning incense and praying to those brazen serpents, going off. So basically, the Lord didn't want to allow that to happen. So that's why the contention between Archangel Michael and Satan was happening in that way. And that's why you don't know where Moses was buried. Right? You don't know. So let's go back to Numbers 20 and just show where the Lord said that they're not going to go into the promised land.
That's verse 12. Verse 12 again, Numbers 20. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, because ye believe me not to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them.
Come. So he said, you not go bring forth this congregation into the land which the Lord had given them. Yeah, you wasn't sharing. Right, so the Lord said that to Moses and Aaron. Right, Aaron died earlier than Moses. Right, but Moses lived on a little bit longer. Right, now let's go to, because if Moses left the truth, why would it say this about Moses? Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 33 from the top. Because I wouldn't say that a man that left the truth, a man that stopped following God, a man that lost faith, is a man of God. Would you say that he a man of God?
Yeah,
right. Now let's read Deuteronomy 33 and verse 1.
This is Deuteronomy 33 and verse 1. And this is the blessing wherewith Moses, the man of God, blessed the children of Israel before his death.
Right, so it's still called Moses a man of God. Even though the Lord said he can't go into the promised land. It still called him a man of God. Despite what did the brothers say, David? Brothers in UPK right now is rocking the Magun Dawadah. The shield of David, what they call it. What we call the lily. Right? But it's it's more known as the shield of David. So they rocking that on their shoulders, on their chest, on all of their shirts. It said David was a man after the Most High's own heart. But David committed adultery. Did he lead the truth? Did he lead the truth? Did David lead the truth, man? When he committed adultery? Or did he just make... Because don't the scriptures say a just man fall of 7 times?
I'm about to say, can you even name 7 times that Moses fell?
Exactly. And I wouldn't even... Well... I would say that Moses... Well, what the Lord told him to do, anything that the Lord says to do, that is, you can say that's a commandment. But I wouldn't say that Moses broke any of the, commandments that were given to all the children of Israel. I couldn't say that Moses did that. I would just say that Moses just didn't follow the direction, that the Lord told him to do. And by him not doing that, the Lord just basically had to make an example out of him. But brothers is rocking the Magun Dawadah, rocking the lily right now, and you saying Moses left the truth. You're gonna have to say David left the truth when he did his sin. And David sinned more times than Moses did. He committed adultery and numbered the children of Israel. And on par him committing adultery, he got Uriah the Hittite killed. So it's like that's it would be more evidence to say that David left the truth than to say Moses did, but neither one of them left the truth. Let's grab that a just man fall of 7 times. I'm pretty sure brothers in their congregation, brothers in the whole Israelite community, have at some point fell weak in the faith, or maybe lost faith at any time. So it's like, is you gonna say that you left the truth because you lost faith one time? It might have been a time where you couldn't see your rent getting paid. You just lost your job. Your rent due in a week. Your check finna be short because you couldn't work the full work week. You don't know how you finna pay it. You a damn 3-time felon, so it's hard for you to find a job. You ain't got no license because child support took your license away. So times like that could cause a man to be weak in the faith. By him being weak in the faith, does that mean that he left the truth? That don't necessarily mean that.
Yeah, not necessarily, man. It's a constant fight, man.
Right, it's a constant fight. It's a constant battle. It's an everyday battle. Right. This Proverbs 24:16, it says, "For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief." Right. So it said a just man. He go fall 7 times. That's a complete number. 7 is completion. Right. You may go ahead. Yeah, just like a week. Right. 7 days. You might fall each and every one of them 7 days, but the thing is, you rising up again, you still trying. You still doing the work of the Lord. And we still saw Moses, even after Numbers 20. We still see Aaron, even after Numbers 20, doing the works of the Lord. So how can we say that they left the truth? Right, now let's grab that where, because if they left the truth, why did they appear to Yahawah? Let's grab the transfiguration in Matthew 17. We could just start from the top.
Right, this is my sharing. Matthew 17 and verse 1. And after 6 days, Yahawah taketh Peter, James, and John his brother, and bringeth them up into a high mountain apart, and was transfigured before them, and his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elijah, talking with him.
Right, so there appeared unto him Moses and Elias. Now, UPK is saying both of these brothers left the truth. Elias, who was John the Baptist, they saying he left the truth. Yahawah said wasn't no greater prophet than John the Baptist. Who is Elijah? And we could look in the Old Testament and see all the works that Elijah did. He was doing so great works that he got beamed up, just like Enoch did. You know, and John the Baptist came and was doing those same things, had that same type of ministry. Right? And then we got Moses. Ultimately, they appear to represent the law and the prophets. Right? Moses represents the law. Elijah represents the prophets, the Tanakh. Right? You got the Torah and Tanakh appearing to Yahawah. Right?
Then answered Peter and said unto Yahawah, Lord, it is good for us to be here. If thou wilt, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for thee, and one for Moses, and one for Elias. So they were trying to commemorate these righteous men.
Right. Keep going.
While he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. And when his disciples heard it, they fell on their face and were so afraid. And Yahawah came and touched them and said, Arise and be not afraid. And when they had lifted up their eyes, they saw no man save Yahawah only. And as they came down from the mountain, Yahawah charged them, saying, Tell the vision to no man until the Son of Man be risen again from the dead. And his disciples asked him, saying, Why then say the scribes that Elias must first come? You want to keep going?
No, we could drop it on that. Let's go to Malachi 4. Because Malachi 4 basically speak about Moses and Elijah as well. Right, let's start at verse 4.
Malachi 4 and 4. Remember ye the law of Moses, my servant.
Wait, what they call him?
My servant.
Right, it said Moses, my servant. This is in the time of Malachi. Right, it's still calling Moses the Lord's servant. But apparently he left the truth. Right, let's keep going.
Remember ye the law of Moses, my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel, with the statutes and judgments.
So like it's something else I'm looking for. Hold on.
Yeah, here's a sidebar too. You got a certain camp that says the law in Horeb was for the mixed multitude as well. But right here it says for all Israel. It doesn't say for the mixed multitude. Dumbass nigga.
Let's go to Ezekiel 3 and hold on. Let's go to Ezekiel 33 and verse
13. Make sure y'all like the video, man.
33 and verse 3. Let's start at verse 12. Ezekiel 33 and 12. Because it's a thing. It's a thing that we got to think about when we read this.
Ezekiel 33 and verse 12. Therefore, thou son of man, say unto the children of thy people, the righteousness of the righteous shall not deliver him in the day of his transgression. As for the wickedness of the wicked, he shall not fall thereby in the day that he turneth from his wickedness. Neither shall the righteous be able to live for his righteousness in the day that he sinneth.
Right, so the righteous can't live for his righteousness in the day that he sinneth. Right, and the wickedness of the wicked is not going to be basically, held against him when he turns righteous. Keep going.
When I shall say to the righteous, that he shall surely live. If he trust to his own righteousness and commit iniquity, all his righteousness shall not be remembered.
Okay, hold on. Wait. So it say, when I say to the righteous, that he shall surely live. If he trusts to his own righteousness and commit iniquity, meaning the righteous man, he go off, right, and commits iniquity, all his righteousness shall not be remembered. Why is Moses still being honored in the scriptures if he left the truth? It say right there, his righteousness shall not be remembered if he commits iniquity. See what I'm saying? Right. Moses is still being honored all throughout the scriptures, even in the New Testament.
Moses had faith in the Most High, bro.
Right.
He didn't trust in his own arm, just like the book of Jeremiah says.
Right.
That's what this is talking about. So reading that again, verse 13, Ezekiel 33, when I shall say to the righteous that he shall surely live, if he trust to his own righteousness and commit iniquity, all his righteousness shall not be remembered, but for his iniquity that he hath committed, he shall die for it. Again, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, if he turn from his sin and do that which is lawful and right. Shit, damn, that shit fucked up. Again, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, if he turn from his sin and do that which is lawful and right. If the wicked restore the pledge, give again that he had robbed, walk in the statutes of life without committing iniquity, he shall surely live, he shall not die. So that's all Moses had. He just had a little slip up.
Right. Read that last part too, verse 16. None of his
sins that he hath committed shall be mentioned unto him. He hath done that which is lawful and right. He shall surely live.
Right. So you shouldn't bring up the sins that a man turned from. Right. In the same way, you shouldn't bring up the righteousness that a man did when he was living righteous if he turned from it and began to commit iniquity. You can't bring that up. You know, so if Moses truly turned to iniquity and left the truth, we shouldn't be bringing up none of the righteousness of Moses. But Moses didn't lead the truth. You know, Moses really didn't go off and turn his life to iniquity and turn away from God. Otherwise, he wouldn't be honored in the scriptures. What the Lord said, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. Or you got what else is it? Remember ye the law of Moses, my servant. Deuteronomy 33, what we just read. Moses, the man of God. All that's honor upon his name. Right, let's go to Hebrews 11. And then after that, we go get Sirach. What is that, 49? Speaking about Moses. I believe that's Sirach 49. And if Moses truly lost all his, that's why we say Moses just had a weak in the faith moment. Moses ain't lose his faith because he's a testament to faith in Hebrews 11.
All right, so this is Hebrews 11 and verse 23. By faith, Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents because they saw he was a proper child, and they were not afraid of the king's commandment. Verse 24, by faith Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, esteeming the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured, and seeing him who is invisible. Through faith he kept the Passover and the sprinkling of blood, lest he that destroyed the firstborn should touch them. By faith they passed through the Red Sea as by dry land, which the Egyptians, assaying to do, were drowned. By faith the walls of Jericho fell down after they were compassed about 7 days. By faith the harlot Rahab perished not with them that believed not.
That's it on that.
Yeah.
That's it on that. Right, so it's using Moses as a testimony of faith. Remember, it said if a righteous man turn from his righteousness and go to iniquity, all the things that he does shall not be remembered. But we see Moses' deeds being remembered, which shows that he wasn't a righteous man that turned to iniquity, which will mean leaving the truth. Right? Let's go to Sirach 45 now. Then we go get off into some other stuff.
We only played a little second of that video.
You said what?
We only played a little second of that video. We ain't even get into it.
Oh, you talk about what, UPK?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to go in on it more?
But we should.
All right, come on, we can.
Well, what verse you want?
45 in front of top. Sirach 45 from the top.
This is Sirach 45. And he brought out of him a merciful man, which found favor in the sight of all flesh, even Moses, beloved of God and men.
Moses, beloved of God and men. Keep going.
Whose memorial is blessed.
His memorial, his memory, the memory of him is blessed.
He made him like the glorious saints and magnified him so that his enemies stood in fear of him.
Mm-hmm.
By his words he caused the wonders to cease, and he made him glorious in the sight of kings, and gave him a commandment for his people, and showed him part of his glory. He sanctified him in his faithfulness and meekness, and chose him out of all men. He made him to hear his voice, and brought him into the dark cloud, and gave him commandments before his face, even the law of life and knowledge, that he might teach Jacob his covenants and Israel his judgments.
Mm-hmm.
He exalted Aaron, an holy man like unto him, even his brother of the tribe of Levi. Right? And Aaron ended up going off with the golden calf.
Right.
Verse 7, an everlasting covenant he made with him, and gave him the priesthood among the people. He beautified him with comely ornaments, and clothed him with a robe of glory, the best drip in Israel. The ephod. He put upon him perfect glory, and strengthened him with rich garments, with breeches, with a long robe and the ephod. And he compassed him with pomegranates, and with many golden bells round about, that as he went there he might be a sound, and a noise made that might be heard in the temple for a memorial to the children of his people. What niggas gotta understand is the Most High is a merciful God, bro. And niggas are disregarding that fact. Especially with a man like Moses, bro. Oh yeah, you want to keep going on this? You muted, gang.
So like, yeah, that was it on that. We can grab Deuteronomy 18 and then we go back to the video.
Prophet like none of Moses, gang.
Right. And Deuteronomy 18 is even after Numbers 20. So if Moses left the truth, why would the Lord want to raise up a prophet like unto a man that left the truth?
Right. So I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him, in regards to Moses.
Right.
And it says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name which I have not commanded him, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die.
Come on, we go back to the video now.
Oh, man. Make sure y'all like that video, man. The topic is, did Moses leave the truth? ISUPK Doctrine examined. That's what we doing, man. Much love to the brothers, but we ain't fucking with it.
Right. I can't hear it.
Can't hear it?
It's real low.
Man, chat, let me know something. Let me know if it's low. Let me know if it's low. Real quick. Cause I ain't do nothing since the first time we were playing.
Like, I heard it, but it sounded low. Like, try to play it again. Yeah, the first time you was playing it, I heard it loud and clear. But now it's real low.
Let me restart this. Can't hear it, man. Y'all ass tripping.
Your ass tripping. It's better having technical difficulty.
I'm gonna have to turn this motherfucker. Audio, speaker, recording. I don't even know how to do that shit, gang. Trying to find that. Can you do it? Can you share your shit?
Send me the link to that. Send it to the email dosdreloaded@gmail.com.
Alright, there you go.
I got it. Share my screen real quick.
I already know your computer be fucked up, nigga.
What the hell going on? Is you playing it?
Nah, I ain't doing shit.
Oh, I had it playing on the email. My bad. I'm thinking like, where the hell this sound coming from? Alright. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I got it right here. Let me pull it up. Alright, play it. Let's see.
Alright.
Read the question to me, or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's good. Make
the
sure you
brother
make it
wants to
full
say.
screen.
You said what up?
Yeah, it's good. Just make sure you make it full screen.
Oh, okay, alright, hold on. I think I need to mute up. Let me know if you hear it while I mute up.
This nigga drinking alcohol, bro.
I've seen Commanding General Yahawah love the men
It's
that
all
taught
good,
him
gang.
just like this. I've seen him do it.
You was able to hear it?
Yeah. Is this nigga drinking, bro?
Yeah, kind of, but that's another story.
Alright, let's get into
Where the men that taught Commanding General Yahawah left the truth, believe in
mic,
some
gang.
strange religion that's called Christianity under another name. They believe in it, and he still loves them, still honors them, still has the entire nation of Israel pray for them to this day. Still does it, because that is the spirit of Christ. And if you want to see this done again, you'll see that it was done with Moses in the book of Jude, where there was a conflict between Satan and the archangel Michael. And they fought over the bones of Moses. Give me that, Marav. You know where it is.
Kana Makan, sir.
Great dispute over the bones of Moses. Why? Because Satan knew that Moses had left the truth right before they found the land of Israel. Moses had already given up. He gave up and he was just done with it. He did great things in his past, great things. But right before they found the promised land, Moses left the truth. He was done. He quit. When they got to the promised land, Moses had already died. And now there was a dispute between Satan, the angel Satan, and the archangel Michael or Michael. And they battled over the bones of Moses. Where's the young brother in class? I want to know why. What were they battling about? Why would two angels battle over bones? Why would they battle over bones? I want the same brother that asked me the question. I want him to answer my question, Marah. Make sure he understands it. They're not battling over Moses' soul. They're battling over the bones of Moses. Why? Use your ability to understand context to answer the question. Go ahead. Marah, you read for him whenever you get it, all right?
Khan Makan, sir, I have it right now. This is Exodus chapter 30.
Shout out Sakan UPK 5381, Jude 1 and 9. Through water, Sakan. I appreciate it.
Khan Makan, this is Exodus chapter 13, verse 19. Oh, Salaki. This is the book of Jude, chapter 1, verse 9. Yet Michael, the archangel, contended with the devil. He disputed about the body of Moses.
About the what?
The body of Moses.
About Moses, about his soul, his reputation. About what?
The body of Moses.
Michael and Satan are disputing, arguing about the body of Moses. His body. Why? Moses was dead already. What are they arguing over? Let me give the brother 10 seconds to try to answer the question. It's right in front of your face, young warrior. Try to give it a shot.
Colonel Makan, sir. He says, Captain Darmouth said, Salaki, sir, an honorable burial.
Give him a hand. He said he spoke well. Be indeed true. That's what they're arguing about. Satan wants to bury him anywhere, burn him, throw him under a bridge, or throw him under in a ditch or under some tree, or burn him, whatever. Satan doesn't. Satan doesn't want to honor this dead body. He doesn't want to give it any honor. Michael does. Michael wants to forgive how he ended his life and honor him for what he did in the prime of life.
Salaki, if you watch their classes, the general just be saying anything a lot of the times. That may just be saying whatever. Talk about Satan don't want to honor the body, just want to throw it under a tree or put it under some rocks or whatever. And he be tripping, man. He be tripping. That's where is that? We can't even see that, right? But it just be wild, man. And I used to watch their classes a lot. I used to watch them a lot. And that ain't even the first time I heard the general say some wild shit. I done heard a whole lot. And it's just like, at some point, the brothers that's following them, I know them brothers be kind of scratching their head like, hold on, like, this shit ain't right. But it's so much respect of persons that you don't correct the man that's above you and all that. When everybody can receive correction. It don't matter who you is and what rank you hold or what stature you have. Everybody can receive correction when it comes to things. So it's like, if I was there, I would have been like, hold on, you got to break that down to me, because I don't see Moses, leaving the truth. Talk about how he ended his life. Deuteronomy 33 say they call him a man of God. That's how he ended his life, as a man of God. He died the next chapter over. So it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. What you wanted to hit on, though?
I was looking something up, but hey, yeah, man. See, we basically covered that shit, to be honest. What you gonna say? There's not much depth to his reasoning.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, so and ain't even much to talk about.
Right. Right. And but the brothers that follow and just let him say whatever, that be the crazy part right there. What he said? He said something like, I remember he used to talk about John the Baptist. He was like, if I say John the Baptist, wasn't in the truth, you better listen to what I'm saying. If I say John the Baptist is a plate of fried fish, then you better bring me some hot sauce or something like that. He said some crazy shit. I was like, this brother just be saying anything, man. Saying anything.
You can't be a fan to a certain extent, because when you
Right.
put people on pedestals, when you find a slip up, you could have slipped up 100,000 times. You forgave your damn self.
Mm-hmm.
But when this person you put on the pedestal slips up once, it's emphasized.
Right.
And you esteem him to have a worse punishment than you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because he doesn't fit that mold that you made of him inside your mind. That's all that shit is, dog.
Yeah, that is true. So, what else we finna get to? Let's get into this. Let me see. I took some stuff down that I wanted to talk about. Let me see. Putting stuff in my notes. Oh yeah, it's this podcast I was listening to. Hopefully we could watch it without
One more
getting
thing,
flagged.
man.
Go ahead.
Moses was like 120 years old, right?
Yeah, I think it was
Nigga, what the fuck?
120, 140.
Yeah, that nigga had a long ass fucking life, nigga. That nigga blessed his head, nigga.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, bro? Yeah, we should get into that, dude.
I think the minute mark was like 53 minutes. I ain't sharing my screen no more, am I?
No.
Huh?
No.
I'm not sharing my screen, right?
Nah, nigga, you can't hear me.
I can't hear you.
Yo. The fuck?
Oh, okay. I hear you now. Okay. I was trying to make sure I wasn't sharing my screen.
What's the synopsis? What we finna go into? You can hear me, dog. You gotta put on your headphone, dude.
$58.
Hey, you can hear me, bro?
You said what up?
You can hear me? Yeah, your audio fucked up or something?
No, my audio ain't fucked up. I'm trying to find this minute mark of this video.
When y'all come in here, make sure y'all like the video, man. Share it on Facebook, social media stories, all that shit. It'll help to get the video out. If it's on your spirit to donate, you can hit that cash out right up. Kazakh Angels. I didn't know I could do this. I could show comments up on the screen. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
You ain't know that shit?
I knew it. I didn't know how to do it.
Alright, Con, I'm finna share my screen. We finna get into this. You know, you heard of Dewberry before?
No.
You said yeah?
No.
Okay. He one of them OGs and shit and did time or whatever. And basically he had said something. I was listening to one of a podcast that he was featured on. He had said something that kind of made me think about some shit. I'm finna just play it. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Alright, let me mute my mic first.
Yeah, oh yeah. These two things are crippling the urban culture, urban community by far. Really? By far, I'm talking as because when you have a drug implication, this affects not just right now who's getting fucked up off it, but the future, what they're not doing, what they could have done, where they should be. You know what I'm saying? Like this is something that affects you later on, too.
Lean became a big thing, but guess what? Lean ain't nothing but a spot. It's heroin.
Yep.
Fuck. It just, they done put it into a liquid form and made it cool.
Made it taste sweet, that's it.
Put it in the
Come
fan.
on, bros.
Oy.
The effect of the mind and just go back and look at them and look at their kids. Them are the kids that's out here calling themselves YNs. Y'all ain't peeped the game yet.
So Salaki, right there, he talking about they was what we just hopped into. They talking about, you know, how the drug epidemic and how, you know, our people promote all these drugs and all that, and how it affect us now and our future, basically. You know, they were just going in on a couple topics, but the thing that I really want to speak on ain't come up yet. But I figured we could say something about that, like how, you know, what he just said, the lean and the lean and shit, that's liquid heroin, basically. You know, and then he say the drugs that we doing, it affected us, and we've been doing it for so long. And he said that's why the kids is the way that they is. He said, you know, look at the YNs and shit like that. You know how they acting wild because the YNs is basically raising themselves for real, because they parents hyped out. You know, they parents just doing whatever. The parents is chasing the high, while the kids is basically, you know, chasing love.
Chasing acceptance, nigga.
Chasing acceptance,
dopamine.
chasing love. Yeah, chasing whatever. You know, that they not getting in the household. So like the white man, the way he put them drugs in our neighborhood, and that shit was all a strategy, bro. You know, and if our people don't see that shit was definitely a strategy. And it was a well executed plan that they had and that they did by putting them drugs in our neighborhood and further destroying the black and Hispanic family structure. You know, with how we supposed to raise our kids, how we supposed to, you know, be a family and all that. Now you got to worry about, you know, cousin Pookie coming around or whatever. He's stealing your TV because he hyped out. OG, she hyped out. She out there selling her body. You know, your sister, she didn't, with your OG selling her body, bringing all these weird ass men around. Your sister then got, you know, touched on or whatever. You know, essayed. You know, and you going out there trying to find love in the streets because you're not getting it nowhere in the crib. Like you said, trying to find acceptance.
Yeah,
you go out there, go ahead.
But I say a lot of people may even be getting those things, but really our actions are just based off of what we're incentivized to do. Feel what I'm saying? What are our role models? If I see young boy up here and I want to be in the position of young boy, guess what I'm gonna do? What the fuck young boy do? That's why he's placed in that position by our enemies. But guess what? I don't get what young boy gets. I fall off a fucking bridge. See what I'm saying? All of these people are being placed up in certain positions for us to resemble them, for us to be destroyed and for them to be preserved until they are destroyed. You see what I'm saying? A lot of bitches, they don't gotta sell their fucking pussy, bro. Right? That's what their friends do. That's what's easy.
That's what's easy.
Yeah, bro.
I was talking to this Eve, right? Like I had met her and shit, got her number and her Facebook information and all that. Was having a conversation with her. She from out west, right? But I asked her what she was doing and all that, and she said I'm in the studio. Shit like that. Woo. I was like, oh, okay, you laying down some hot shit, let me hear it. She sent me the track. Her ass rapping, she said some shit like, you go to work 40 hours to make 300. I just made that land on my back. Woo, 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 woo. What? I'm like, what? She said, I was like, I sent the eye emojis. I was like, I texted her, I asked her, I was like, you selling it? I was like, you selling it? Is you out here selling it? Let me know. And so she didn't respond. And then so I hit her up again the next day. I was like, listen, just be honest. I like, be for real with me. Like, is you selling it? Cause I ain't finna fuck with you if you is type shit. I like, just be honest. And so she like, yeah, I used to sell it. Woo, but I don't do that no more. But I rap about it because that's what they want to hear now. She talking about that's what everybody want to hear. Right, exactly. Exactly. That's what they want to hear.
That's what sells. You can't be your own self. You can't influence what you think is righteous. You gotta mold yourself to.
Yeah. Don't nobody want to make their own lane, and make that lane righteous. They can't see themselves getting on like that. They want to rap about or sing about what's being promoted because they see that's the only way of them making it. You know, and that may be true because of the powers that be that's in power right now. That's what they promoting and all that. But you don't got to conform yourself. You know, but ultimately she didn't conform herself because she was really living that lifestyle. And it was just crazy, you know, but yeah. She's in the past now. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because it matched what you were saying. You know, our people, they attracted to those things because it was popular. This was being pushed and all that. You know, the women, they dressed the way that they dressing because this was popular. This was being pushed.
Even the blonde nails and shit like that, I hate that shit, man. Yeah. But they be competing with other females. That's what that be. I don't think niggas generally like shit like that. If your nails are too long to braid my fucking hair, why the fuck you got that shit on?
I be asking a lot. I be like, how you wipe your ass with them nails?
You feel me?
Like how you? I be like, how you do that? How you do that? It gotta be like some type of science behind that or something, or you ain't getting everything, something like that. They be like, I do it like a regular person, whatever, shorty. I ain't trying to hear all that. Right, but going back to this video though, let me mute up. So, like, a matter of fact, let me grab a precept on that, on what we were just speaking about. Right. This is can you hear me?
Yeah.
Come on. This Exodus 23:2. It says, "Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil." Right? So you don't gotta follow the wave or ride the wave. You know, basically you shouldn't want to do that to go and do evil, right? Also, let me grab Psalm 1:1, and then I'm also grab Sirach 11:23. But this Psalm 1:1, it says, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Right? So the Lord said you blessed when you don't walk in the counsel with the ungodly. Right? When you don't follow that wave, when you don't jump on that bandwagon, or do what everybody else doing. When you just follow the laws of the Lord and you just keep his ways and live a normal life or whatever, you blessed in doing that. Because when you follow, like Yahawah said, the blind leading the blind, they all go fall into the ditch, paraphrasing. Right? And don't be looking at them saying you got to do that to make money. If y'all both rapping or whatever, and you see they getting money or whatever, you don't got to conform yourself to their ways for you to start getting paid. You got people that rap about other stuff that still make money. They may not be mainstream, but they still getting paid for what they do. So let me go to the Apocrypha real quick. You had something you wanted to say?
Yeah, the goal with music anyway, it shouldn't be to get paid. It should be the influence. Like shit like music, it moves you.
Right.
Right? It brings an influence, it brings a certain spirit in the room.
Right.
I was gonna say something else. You said the counsel of the ungodly, something on that. For example, if you come from smoking every day, right, and you're hanging around people that are just like you, and you try to stop, but you don't stop hanging around those people, guess what? It'll be that much easier for you to be fake disciplined, right? Quit, and then the next day you're doing it. Quit, then the next day you're doing it. See what I'm saying? But a separation from the bad banana, that's gonna actually get you on that road too. Maybe fucking up once or twice in a whole week, and then maybe a month, then a year pass by, maybe once, and then it'll get you on the right track.
Okay. Right. This is Sirach 11 and 21. It says, "Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord and abide in thy labor. For it is an easy thing in the sight of Yahawah on the sudden to make a poor man rich." Right? So it's an easy thing to make a poor man rich. You don't got to be jealous of the brother that's holding them stacks of money up to his ear and shit, doing the money phone shit. You don't got to be jealous of that brother that's trapping out there getting that easy money, and you got to go work 80 hours in every 2 weeks, to get your bag or whatever. Because if you go, once you go and do that, try to do what he doing, the Lord probably just preserving him for destruction. But once you go and do that, and you're a brother that know better, not to be doing that, the Lord gonna have your judgment gonna come quicker than his. And it's better, and you gonna be locked up with no motion, or you might even be put in the ways of death or whatever. So slow motion is better than no motion. You gotta always remember that. It's better for you to work it out the long way than to not have no motion at all.
Go ahead. The reason a lot of people receive slower judgment is because the Most High isn't dealing with them to that extent. Right?
Exactly.
That they're being given over to destruction. Right? You might see somebody making money doing some wicked ass shit, and you could be doing that. Right? It's in your fingertips, but you choose to live the righteous way. You gotta understand this.
Okay.
If you pray for money, you gotta know how to act without money. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. This Malachi, but go ahead.
Right, if you pray for strength, you got to know how to build that foundation of strength, which is going through time under tension, right? Which may feel like weakness, right? Pray for something, always expect that opposite end, but you got to know how to act without what you're praying for. You feel what I'm saying? Go ahead. The scriptures say, "Envy not the glory of the sinner," in Sirach.
Right.
Also in Psalm 73.
So you share my screen, Baka Shah. Is it shared?
Yeah.
All right, come. So this is the mindset of our people right here. This how we think, right? So this is Malachi 3 and verse 13. It says, "Your words have been stout against me, saith Yahawah. right? Yet ye say, what have we spoken so much against thee? Ye have said, it is vain to serve God, and what profit is it that we have kept his ordinance, and that we have walked mournfully before the Lord of hosts? So they saying that it's pointless. Our people be like, it's pointless to serve God. It's pointless to, be trying to stress and keep all these commandments and do all this and that, when we never really see no turn from it. We still ain't had salvation yet. All these things, whatever our people thinking in their mindset, right? We seeing everybody else enjoy life, eating these so-called delicacies, crab, shrimp, and lobster, enjoying their life, getting money, breaking the Sabbath, going out, doing all these other things, having threesomes, doing whatever, living what they call living their best life, right? We look at those things and be like, damn, we kept in the house serving the Lord, we doing this, we doing that, we excluded from those things. It say, and now we call the proud happy. Yet they that work wickedness are set up. So it's like the people that's working wickedness, the people that's living wicked lives, they set up. They got nice houses. Like I said, they driving. They the ones with the Hellcats and all that, all the scammers and all the drug dealers and all of that. All the people that's living those lifestyles, they set up. It say, yea, they tempt God and are even delivered. Like we a lot of people like we were just saying, the Most High not dealing with them, but they still getting delivered. They not getting in trouble how we would get in trouble if we went off and did those things. It's because the Lord, who the Lord corrects, who the Lord loves, he corrects, he chastens. So once we go off and do those things, the Most High, he gonna quickly correct us and get us right back in line. With them, the Lord ain't really dealing with them. Go ahead. What you was saying?
I done had to learn, nigga.
Yeah.
Man, say, bro. Throughout the years, bro, about past 5 years, 2 ankle injuries, probably about approximately lasting 9 months, herniated disc, about 3-4 years, 2 rotated cuffs, about 4 years. A tear in my upper back, about 3 years. Both my knees, patellar tendonitis, kind of perpetually on and off. When I dorsiflex my left ankle, that shit was injured. That dorsiflex. I could keep going on and on. Fucking my goddamn left wrist. I used to work at FedEx and shit. My shit fucked up. My elbow, what's it called? Is dealing with your ulnar nerve cubital syndrome. When the nerve is weakened all the way, going through your hand, and it hurts to bend. You might sleep with it like this and wake up with your arm all fucking numb and shit and weaken. Nigga, I done had to go through it for the truth, man. Feel what I'm saying? But
that nigga needs, your ass needs some milk.
Yeah, after that, I used to post up every fucking day in the trenches with the Bible doing my little Israelite in the trenches videos, right? Because of that judgment that the Most High had given me, it pushed me to actually do the Most High's work. So a lot of times, judgment is fuel that the Most High gives you to get right, rather than punishment to give you death. You see what I'm saying? It's redirection. It gives you an incentive to change. The niggas that stay wicked, they have no incentive to change because they're getting everything that they want for the most part. See what I'm saying?
Getting whatever they want, bro.
Yeah,
and we can't look at that and be jealous, because the thing that we working for is far greater than what they getting right now. Right? It's far great. It's gonna be far greater than what they getting right now. They getting things in this kingdom, whatever, little trinkets or whatever. The things that we get is gonna be not even what they getting right now is not even gonna amount to what the hell the Lord got in store for us. As it says in 1 Corinthians 2:9. It might be 2 Corinthians.
Finish that. I got something. After
all right, come. It says, and now we call the proud happy, yea, that work wickedness are set up. Yea, they that tempt God are even delivered. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it. and the book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord and that thought upon his name. And they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, I will spare them, as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. Then shall ye return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth God and him that serveth him not. Right, you go ahead. I'm finna look at something real quick.
Right, this is the famous Psalms 73. Let's add this to the stage real quick. So Psalm 73 at verse 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain. Violence covereth them as a garment, right? They pridefully sin at this point. See what I'm saying? And they are okay doing violence. They're not facing of that recompense quickly. They're not reaping what they sow quickly. So they feel comfortable doing the sins that they do. This is verse 7. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Therefore his pride returned hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. So basically I'm bringing this up to say, punishment from the Most High being put at a bad state, that's more so encouragement to do right. That's more so a good sign, right? You got symptoms, right? It's more so of a good symptom that you're in the right place with the Most High. Instead of him just giving you away to your wickedness, not giving you that punishment because it redirects. You see what I'm saying?
Kind of off topic, but share my screen again real quick. Yeah,
you gotta zoom in too, gang. Can't nobody see that shit.
Alright, hold on. Let me zoom in. I'll do that. Where the fuck is the zoom at?
Yeah, you gotta hit the mouse pad like you spreading some pussy lips like that.
Like I'm doing what?
Like you spreading some pussy lips.
You funny as hell. It's crazy. I do exactly. All right, cut. All right, you can see it.
Hey.
All right, hold on. Let me go back real quick. All right, so can you see it better?
Yeah, hey, yeah.
All right, so where I was just reading in Malachi 3:16, right? Like I said, this off topic, right? But going in on Gentile salvation real quick, right? It says, then they that feared, Malachi 3:16, then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened, and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him, for them that feared the Lord, and that thought upon his name. Right? Verse 17, go to point. And they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, I will spare them as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. So I clicked on this word, wanted to see what the jewels was going into, right? And it's this word Sagala, right? H5459 Sagala, right? And it goes into a possession, property, value, property, peculiar treasure, a treasure, right? Peculiar treasure. So let's go to Salakia. Well, I'm gonna just stay on this tab. Let's go to Exodus 19. Exodus 19 and verse, I'm gonna start at verse 3. And Moses went up. Do I need to zoom in or you can see it?
Yeah, zoom in a little bit more. Or a lot more. You don't gotta be too humble. Yeah.
That's cool right there. All right.
Yeah.
Exodus 19 and 3, it says, and Moses went up unto God, and the Lord called unto him out of the mountain, saying, thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure. You see that? That's that same. That's that same thing. And so only the children of Israel is gonna be in that book of remembrance, because the Lord just said, "Speak unto who? The house of Jacob and the children of Israel." Right? They say, "Ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine." Right? So, that's another sword in the pocket. I just wanted to hit on that. We could.
What you were just reading before that?
Malachi 3, and I started at 16 and 17. Okay. Yeah, okay. All right, let's go back to this Dewberry thing. It's just a couple more minutes. So I just wanted to hit on it real quick, and then we could probably close out soon. I'm gonna mute up. Let me know if you can hear it when I share my shit.
When y'all coming alive, make sure y'all liking the video.
Damn, boy, cramping up at this whole fuck.
Be doing them stupid workouts, man.
Yo ass, where that water jug at, man?
Right here, man.
You need to be hitting that motherfucker. Yeah, I like y'all. That's a crazy cut. But icon.
Filthy. Y'all gotta understand that it's a cycle. So therefore, what I'm saying is, if we was to take away all of that negativity, throw it in the garbage, and we start putting more positivity into the earth, the way I speak, I'm not trying to be funny. I don't knock no religion. I don't knock none of that, right? I never became a part of no religion. I never have. I never became it.
Even behind the wall.
Even behind the wall.
You don't. That's not something you hear a lot.
Because my thing was this here. I study and I learn, right? I don't want to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never became, some people, a lot of people become Muslim and a lot of people become whatever, right? So I tell them, like, no, I'm not with it, boss. I'm not with it, right? For one, but I respect people that's with it, but they really with it. Okay? Yeah. You can't play Muslim and play dope, boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, you're right.
So we let that go on too much. You can't play Christian, but on the side playing perverted boy. You can't do that, boss. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm connected to the spirit. I'm connected to a God that I speak to on the consistency every day.
That nigga was spitting. That nigga said, "You can't play Muslim and play dope boy." We see that shit every day. I know niggas.
Yeah, man, free my nigga at the chain gang. That nigga done went in that hoe, became Muslim.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's crazy. And that Muslim demon, that Muslim demon got the jailhouse in the chokehold.
When niggas become Muslim, they don't even know what the Quran is about. They don't know anything that the religion entails, but they just become Muslim because they may look up to people like Malcolm X or some bullshit like that. It be the influence, bro. That's all it is. It may sound cool. I know somebody that I don't know him, but somebody became Muslim because Christianity didn't seem to make sense to them. It's just a bunch of stupid ass reasons, bro.
Yeah. And this, like, brothers, like, it's just, like you say, it's the same thing with Christianity. Well, what he just said, you can't be Muslim and then be trying to play dope boy. You can't be Christian and then be, what do you say, perverted boy. Or whatever, you know. You can't be trying to, he basically speaking on people being hypocrites in their religion. Right? And there's a lot of hypocrites, especially amongst the black and Hispanic community, and when it comes to religion and all of that. Right? You got people, they claiming that they serve Allah, they do this Ramadan shit that just passed, back in March or whatever. You know, everybody was dressing up in a, what's that gown they be wearing? I have no idea either. Right, but they be dressing up in the Muslim dresses and all of that. Yeah, and be having the little hats on or whatever. And the whole time they selling drugs. You know, they selling drugs to each other. Them niggas is putting hits out on each other. You know, Dirk famous for being Muslim. He had made the whole old black turn Muslim through influence. And they ass still, you know, up there they still killing each other, selling drugs. You know, it's Muslims at my job that I talk to. This nigga boast about adultery all the time. Talking about, you know, hey, he be like, he be telling other brothers that, you know, if he see they woman, you know, he'd take her from him and you know, basically have her become his woman or whatever. I was like, damn, that's in the Quran. That's in the Quran. Like, that's crazy. What the brothers say, wait, Dirk and Quando, both Muslim but trying to kill each other, right?
Every Muslim I know make murder music.
Yeah, make murder music. You know, so it's like that shit really just a damn. Being Muslim really just a trend for real. That's all it is. You just calling yourself Muslim just so you won't be Christian. You know, that's because black people don't got no identity. So we out there searching for one. And then, you know, we know that Jesus, we believe that Jesus is white and that the Bible is the white man's book. So we run to a book that so-called come from a people of color and think that's our book. That ain't our book either. You know, the Bible is our book. You know, the white man just perverted your understanding of it in the Christian church. You know, we got to throw that away and realize that the Bible is really the book with the jewels in it. For the jewels.
Yeah, true that.
Right.
So that dealing with shit like the Quran, it is literally a remix. Like, for example, I believe instead of Moses being placed in a basket in the water, Moses was just thrown in the water in the Quran. Feel what I'm saying? I think Haman and Pharaoh live in the same time period rather than hundreds and hundreds of years apart in the Quran, which is an inconsistency and doesn't make sense. Right? The Quran says if you have any contention about any of these things we've revealed to you, ask those who read the book that was prior, some shit like that. But yeah, man, there's a lot of contention, dog.
I remember my boy brought out one time that the Quran say one of Moses' sons died in the flood. Like that ain't
Yeah, it does, yeah.
It's like one of his sons died in the flood. Like that don't even make sense. That don't even
Zero
make sense.
self-discipline. Right, we don't got no choice but to be disciplined in this truth, man.
Exactly.
Shit.
Exactly.
When you really got understanding, nigga, you understand that you have to face of that judgment. You really got to reap what you sow. And once you've done that so much, it's like, bro, it's nonsensical to keep doing that bullshit, bro.
You're right. Okay. But yeah, I just wanted to hit on that, what the brother said through the spreading part. Y'all watching me, I was shy. You got anything else you want to go into?
I'm gonna save some shit for a different video, but most definitely I've been studying a lot of shit. like the nigga was just speaking about discipline. I got some shit on discipline I want to go into. Basically understanding the thought process behind different temptations, like what the average person knows to do about temptations is to fast. So you fast, you exemplify patience and abstaining from certain things as far as food, so that helps you to abstain in different areas and shit like that. Then 2 months later you find yourself doing the same shit, right? Then you fast and then you keep being brought through that cycle. But the thing is, temptations are brought to our attention just like different thoughts in general. If you sit down with your eyes closed, you're gonna notice different thoughts just passing by your head. You don't have to linger on any thoughts, but just let the thoughts pass by. You'll notice a lot of thoughts. We gotta understand spirits come through the way of influence. You understand? So when temptation comes, it's no different than a normal thought that comes passing by. But instead of letting it pass by, you linger on it, or you may even try to fight it. Trying to fight a thought is just like lingering on a thought instead of just letting it pass by. You see what I'm saying? Just understanding the depth of things that we do subconsciously will help us to be more disciplined. You see what I'm saying? So I got a video on that coming soon, my nigga. Most definitely niggas need that shit.
Come on, for sure. Alright, brothers most definitely need that on the discipline. Brothers need it on. Go ahead.
Niggas got anger issues.
Yeah.
Niggas into pornography. Niggas got weed issues. A lot of niggas got fucking drinking issues. But how do we avoid these things? Understanding life in general. The physical world isn't primary. The spiritual world is primary. This world is governed by different spirits, but we don't even see, but we can feel. We can feel them move us in certain directions and shit. That's why you find yourself doing things you don't even want to motherfucking do. You tell yourself you're not gonna do, but then you're pulled to do it because of spiritual influence. So if all you know is the physical realm, how will you fight the spiritual? Figuratively, you can say you're gonna stop doing something, but you're not. You just don't understand, right? The Holy Spirit, a characteristic is understanding. You see what I'm saying? So once you understand, you can know how to avoid, right? People be doing 2 + 2 and they complain about getting the results of 4, but they don't know they're doing 2 + 2. You don't know you're conjuring up these different results that you're receiving. You don't know that you're placing yourself in certain predicaments to be vulnerable and susceptible to temptation, right? This is what I do. First of all, I'm gonna spit my philosophy real quick. A soldier, a true soldier, doesn't just fight because he has an enemy. Because if he did, that enemy would determine if he's a soldier or not. A soldier fights whether he has an enemy or not. What I do, as soon as I motherfucking wake up, I hop in the shower, turn it all the way on cold. 1 minute on the timer. If I got work and I'm rushing this shit, I'm not skipping my declaration statement, my declaration ritual. Because I'm a nigga that does hard ass shit. I'm a nigga that doesn't give in to who isn't persuaded by every which way the wind blows, right? Something can come into my attention, a temptation can come into my attention or whatever, and I observe it, but I don't adhere to it. I can feel anger. I don't adhere to it, but I observe it. I don't adopt all my fucking thoughts. So hopping up in the shower, turning it all the way on cold, that's giving me discipline. That's putting me in the mind state of fighting before somebody else comes and opposes a fight to me. You see what I'm saying? So a true soldier, it fights whether it has an enemy or not. And when you're in that mind state, you're putting your armor on. as the Bible says, to withhold the wiles of the devil, right?
Con, when you a soldier, you ain't just fighting, you know, other humans or whatever. You know, you fighting yourself. You a soldier in every aspect. You're not just a soldier in the army. You a soldier in every aspect of life. You know, everything is a battle. So, like, can you pull up? Let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 7 and verse 50. I think that's what I want. 2nd Esdras 7 and 50.
Second Esdras 7:50. Hold on, I'm showing my shit. Hold on. Second Esdras 7:50. And that there is promised us an everlasting hope, whereas ourselves being most wicked are made vain.
Keep going.
And that there are laid up for us dwellings of health and safety, whereas we have lived wickedly. And that the glory of the Most High is kept to defend them which have led a worry life, whereas we have walked in the most wicked ways of life. And that there should be showed a paradise whose fruit endureth forever, wherein is security and medicine, since we shall not enter into it. For we have walked in unpleasant places, and that the faces of them which have used obstinance shall shine above the stars, whereas our faces shall be blacker than darkness. For while we live and committed iniquity, we consider not that we should begin to suffer for it after death.
Right.
Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle which man that is born upon the earth shall fight.
Right, so that's the condition of the battle, right? You sustaining yourself or fighting your flesh, you know, from committing iniquity. You fighting your mind, ultimately, you know, from going and doing things that's contrary to the, you know, contrary to your well-being, which is the law, statutes, and the commandments. You know, you got to be able to sustain yourself from those things. You got to be able to keep yourself away from, like it says in Sirach, you know, see what's evil for your soul, basically, and give not that unto it. Right? I think it was more on that. It was just a little bit more on that. All right, we can read 57 again.
Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle which man that is born upon the earth shall fight. That if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say. For this is the life whereof Moses spake unto the people while he lived, saying, choose thee life that thou mayest live. Right.
So this is the decree of the battle, the condition of the battle, right? Which man that is born upon the earth has to fight. Right. This is a battle that you gotta fight. Right, even if you basically just focusing on worldly things, if you giving everything, if you giving your flesh giving over always to the flesh, you gonna ruin yourself. You gonna ruin yourself always giving the flesh what it wants. You know, if you always giving the flesh, let's say you hungry, you always eating, you gonna become obese, morbidly obese. What they call morbidly obese. You gonna be morbidly obese, man.
Yeah, you mandatorily have to be disciplined.
Right.
More than just keeping the commandments, because discipline is a characteristic rather than something that you apply. It's in you, not on you, basically. That's
right.
what I'm saying.
Right. And it's something that if it's not in you, you got to build it within you. You got to build it up.
Yeah, bro.
With discipline, tolerance, you know, and those type of things could go hand in hand with the fruits of the spirit as well. Most definitely. Because if you ain't got discipline, how you gonna be long suffering? If you ain't got discipline, how you gonna practice meekness? If you ain't got discipline, how you go, you know, what's another one? What's another fruit of the spirit? Off the top of my head. Meekness, long suffering. It's like you might as well pull it up real quick. I'll just pull it up. We ain't gotta bring it on screen.
The only time that you exemplify discipline is when temptation hits or something. You're setting yourself up for failure. It's a lifestyle. You gotta become friends with the fire if you want to master it. See what I'm saying? You gotta willfully throw yourself in that motherfucker.
It says the fruits of the Spirit, this is Galatians 5:22. It says the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law, because it's no law against those things, because if you practicing those things, you're walking within the law, right? Because keeping the law, you go love, right? The love of God is keeping His commandments, right? You go have joy, right? You go have peace, right? Long suffering, right? Gentleness, goodness, faith. You know, all these things are a part of the law, right? Meekness, temperance. And if you don't have discipline, you're not going to be able to inherit these characteristics, right? If you don't have discipline, go ahead.
Shit like this need to be practiced daily, cause I'm gonna tell you this. I know a lot of brothers in the truth that aren't disciplined, nigga. It's not like we just go to camp and this is when we're disciplined. No, you go home, you're disciplined. You wake up, you're disciplined. Right. It's the middle of the day, you have a certain precaution, a certain protocol and standard that you hold yourself to, that you don't differ from. Basically non-negotiables. For example, what I use the cold shower and shit like that, because it exemplifies or conjures up physical and mental hardship, right? And it's a non-negotiable, right? If I haven't gotten that shit out the way and it would make me late for work, guess what? I gotta be late for work today. You feel what I'm saying? Because it sets your foundation. It's like without me doing this disciplinary ritual, that's like leaving the house without clothes on. You see what I'm saying? Because it's a spiritual fucking world, nigga. Then niggas wondering why they keep repenting and giving in to temptation every fucking day and shit like that. Well, what are your habits? What do you gotta check your actions. You gotta check your mind state. You gotta check the things that are on your plate that are not conducive, right? If you're finna, let me speak an analogy real quick. If you're finna go on a journey, don't keep the things that you might need. Keep the things that you know that you will need, because the things you might need will hold you down. You see what I'm saying? A lot of the shit that we think that we might need starts to differ us from the goal, nigga, right? It just becomes a weight on your side. You don't need to check your phone every fucking 5 minutes. You don't need to scroll on your phone. A lot of people be scrolling on their phone. They don't even know what the fuck they looking for. Guess what? You're training your mind to not be disciplined. It's not harmless, nigga. See what I'm saying? That niggas be trying not to smoke and shit, but they just be in their room, not occupied on anything. Just don't smoke. Nah, nigga. Gotta get up and actually do something, nigga.
Being idle. Yeah. Having an idle mind.
I know, cause I used to do that shit. Don't smoke, nigga. Feel me, nigga, going crazy for around Carter Plug next day. Or that day, next day too. Nigga, I done had to throw blunts out the window, throw blunts in the woods, throw sacks down the toilet, got down, stomp on some nigga. I'm speaking from experience, bit dog.
I done been there. I done been there before.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But that's why it's important to meditate and to not follow the thoughts that come to your mind. Have a thought come, allow it to leave. Have a thought come, recognize it, allow it to leave. Don't linger on anything. And when you do that, you'll start to notice that you are not your thoughts. Feel anger? You can let that shit go. You don't have to adopt that anger. That's not you. That's just something that you feel, right? Only use and adopt what is conducive for you. And you'll notice, just as that anger comes within your foresight and you don't adopt it, but you allow it to go away, that's just how temptation works. It comes within your foresight. You don't even fight it. You just let it go away. Because when you fight it, you're lingering on it. See what I'm saying? Somebody could come to me out on the street, hey, fuck you, bitch. Woo woo woo. Nigga, if I just keep walking, nigga, it's as if he never even said anything. But if I start to fight this nigga, okay, now this is the topic of conversation. See what I'm saying? Now I'm fighting this nigga and I might fucking lose. So why fight? Just keep fucking going. You gotta allow the thought to come and just leave. But if you don't meditate, I ain't gonna lie to you, you might not understand that concept. But these things are vital because it's a spiritual fight. It is not more so physical. Things may appear in the physical from the spiritual, but it's a spiritual battle, man. For real.
Well, I ain't really got too much more. I ain't got nothing else to get into. Unless you do.
Not for real, man. So make sure y'all like the video. We go live every Friday around 7 or 8. See what I'm saying? Subscribe to Murder Hand Prophets, that's me. Angels of Yahawah, that's the count. Feel what I'm saying? Subscribe to both channels.
Right.
Fuck with me on IG, bro, cause I'm a donkey. Let me plug my shit real quick, man.
Go ahead.
Gotta plug my shit, gang. I'm 5'9", I be dunking this shit. This was a light. Shit, let me add that to the stage. This was a light session. I would just fucking around for real, coming off injury and shit. But you see my handle right up. I'm finna start doing podcasts, going into my training, breaking shit down. You know, Levi always trying to teach and shit. So, yeah, man, you got anything?
Like, I ain't got nothing else, man. Keep the commandments, keep the faith, man. Tell the white man he a devil to his damn face, man.
Oh, God, nigga.
Right.
I praise, honor, glory to the Most High God, Yahawah, Shalom. Oh, God.
Shalom.